Good morning. My name is Steve Moore with Organic Technology International, and we're here at the Virgin Farms down in the South Valley of the Rio Grande in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'd like to give you a tour of what we are doing here in our research center of growing energetic, nutrient-dense food to feed the world. Come with me. This isn't just a hobby farm, it's an extension to our business, Organic Technology International, is where we actually do our own soil testing. We formulated everything, and in formulation we apply it, and then we get to eat the byproducts of it. So it's a complete cradle to grave concept that we wanted to be involved with, instead of explaining what we can do to someone else and them go, yeah, that's great, but where's yours? Well, I would rather let them taste ours rather than talk about it. This will address the power lines that are in our view, that are actually right over the top of our corn that we've planted. And the direction that, to tap into nature, nature has a very interesting approach toward trying to synchronize the energy fields. And what we've done is try to sort out the biology, chemistry, and physics to link this all together. And by mineralization into the soil, you're able to tap into the chaotic wavelengths off of this EMF, which is the electromagnetic field that is generated off of these power lines. Nature does that naturally by tapping into the magnetic field that's on Earth by drawing that electromagnetic field down into the soil from the high mineralization. They refer to that as paramagnetism in the soil. So actually trying to make these plants use some of that free energy, I looked at this as a challenge. I just wanted to understand how it functioned so that any of the energy coming off, and I think if you're quiet at the right time, you can actually hear the snapping and crackle of these power lines. They get an awful lot of bad press, and that's appropriate if they don't understand how to utilize it. So if you're highly mineralized, then what you're doing, these plants have an energy field or an aura away from, or shielding them, and only allowing the energy that they want to absorb. So they're able to take off and do just that. Matter of fact, in such a way that a lot of these single kernel planted seeds have offshoot, and we'll have 5 or 6 stalks coming out, and the mother plant will keep sending new stalks off, and it'll only do that if there's enough energy to support not only herself, but her offspring. So it's very evident in here there's an extremely high level of energy reserves, not only to produce one ear off of the main stalk, but to have numerous stalks and putting off numerous ears off of a single kernel. And most people look at it, like there's some radiational problem. Well, actually it isn't. Nature has an incredible radiational aspect. If you can tap into it in a natural way, we should use it, and we do use it. Nature uses it all the time. In preparing soils for this kind of a process of trying to get the energy or the physics built up in the soil and not just be concerned about the organics that everybody seems to be real driven by. In nature, if you observe the high organic properties of what soil produces and the high mineral properties and the energy of the two, the high mineral soils are the best energy sources. All life begins from rock. So in the preparations of this soil, and it's ongoing, is that we brought in tons and tons per acre of high mineralized rock. What's unique about it is that once you establish that, it has a half-life of hundreds and hundreds of years, which is beautiful. The free energy of this plant will also allow more leaf mass, which is the solar panel to draw energy from our sun. That's all we're doing, is harvesting the sun. So monitoring the health of this plant is directly correlated to the immune system, and it starts in the soil. When the soil biology is proper, the plants that are grown are proper and become more of a medicine rather than just a food. Here's part of the fruit of the labor here, is that this particular okra has a very, very unique taste. A little different than, say, the greens that most everybody sees when they, and of course they ruin it because they fry it and destroy all the enzymatic activity of the plant. But these are excellent to eat. Matter of fact, a lot of the eating that we do on the farm is to actually taste test it in the field. It doesn't have to be cooked. It's actually better if you don't. Some of these tomatoes will go as much as a pound a piece, and the tonnage that'll come off of this is astronomical. An acre of tomatoes can exceed $40,000 to $50,000 in income, just 1 acre, if grown and harvested and handled appropriately. And these tomatoes that you see right now are right in the neighborhood of about 70 days old from seed. And in this is what we want to demonstrate and show, that in a tomato that is grown properly to its genetic potential, and mark these words because this is not to be confused with genetically modifying anything. God didn't make any mistakes. We're the ones with our arrogance that make the mistakes and trying to correct things that don't need to be corrected. The thicker this is in the middle, you can see there's not a lot of empty space, and this will fill out and make a tremendous tomato, either for frying or just eating. We got 75 or 80 day acorn squash that we had off of here in 45 days. Harvest ready to eat from a seed. We've been approached to take on a project on a major way to help manage and run a very, very large development like this, but in the thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. No matter how much money you have, you can't buy health unless you understand it and know where it begins and how it's created. We're just replicating things that have been going on for years, but it's been a lost art.